for this first video, I wanted to do a advanced ward spots video where I'll be showing a few ward spots that not a lot of people, or hopefully not a lot of people, will know about. So this will be new to you. I know Zlapt has done a recent video on warding, so do check that out before you watch this. But this will be very advanced and mostly used probably in high TMM. But yeah, let's get right into it. So the first ward spot I want to show you guys is going to be used mainly when you're Hellborn against Nymphora lineups. So if you're versing a Nymphora player, and let's say you have a Silhouette player, right? And he's farming, he's got these items, you know, he's free farming, he's not really contested, you know, he's pushing the lane, no one's in his lane. Last thing you want to happen to him is get ganked, right? Because you don't want this guy to die. He's your carry. You want him to get as much farm as you want. And if you're versing a Dr. Nymphora, let me try and show you guys what I mean. If I remove Fog of War here, so let's say you're versing a Dr. Nymphora, right? The moment that Nymphora is going to hit 6 is when Nymphora is going to gank. So if Nymphora ganks you guys, if Nymphora ganks the enemy short lane, our short lane, Silhouette player, you're going to have a lot of troubles, right? So Nymphora hits 6, she has these items. The moment she hits 6, she's going to be like, yo, Doctor, let's go gank somewhere, right? So they're going to go into Fog, so you don't have vision of them, and they're going to ulti somewhere, right? You want to ward here. This is the ward spot. Anyway, this ward gives vision of this entire area. So you will spot Nymphora ganks on this side of the map. And it pretty much gives your Silhouette some safety in terms of the Doctor and Nymphora ganks. And the moment you guys spot this, this is when, let me turn Fog of War off so you get better idea of how much vision this gives. So the moment you guys spot this gank, you want your jungler to immediately run to the top lane to help out to counter gank, right? Because a Doctor Nymphora plus a Suicider, in this case I have a Midas here. Midas level 6 or even level 4 to that matter with a Doctor Nymphora will kill any short laner in the game. There is no short laner that will survive this. Like Doctor jumps in and he's dead. There's nothing he can do. So if you spot this, you will move your jungler straight up here. You will get your support up here as soon as possible. And you will want to counter gank this, because if you guys counter gank this kill, it's huge for your team. So you want your mid player to go back, you know, TP top, and prepare for the gank. And meantime, the moment you spot this gank, you want your Suicide player to start pushing bottom, because this guy needs XP for level 6, and this guy needs to push out bottom and get as much farm and push out the lane before Dr. Nymphora gets back to the lane, or when they realize that this gank is coming. So that's the way you want to play out the game with this ward against, you know, Dr. Nymphora. The next ward spot I want to show is in the bottom lane, and this is actually patched. It was available. I know Zlapt wanted to show it in his video and he couldn't because this actually got patched in the big balance patch. So this used to give vision of this ward. It was used to be here, but they removed the cliff. But it used to give vision of this entire area, the tree line and all this area. But it was very good for pushing this tower bottom. But that got patched. Another ward that you cannot place anymore is here. And this used to give vision of all of this area and behind the tower. So if you were Hellborn and you had this ward up, it was a huge advantage to have. And I actually placed this when I was ringing for sync against Complexity, which was very useful. We spotted the ganks and some of the group ups, so we dodged those effectively. But something that didn't actually get patched was this ward here. If I get it, actually missed it here. Let's see. There it is. Okay, so this ward, it's very useful in specific scenarios. The way I would use this ward would be against Clanks pickers, because Clanks likes to move on the side of the map. He doesn't want to run within a lane, because lane wards in Hon right now are usually placed in the lane. That's a nice lane ward. This is usually a nice lane ward. A lane ward, another lane would be here, or maybe even here. and Clanks wants to run on this line. He wants to run on this line. This ward gives very good vision for Clanks against Clanks players. So if you're versing a Clanks on the Legion side, or if you're turtling on the Legion side and you see Clanks on the Hellborn running this way, you will spot the Clanks. Another use for this would be if you're manning up in a tri-lane. So let's say you're Hellborn, and you're tri-laning bottom, and you're versing a dual lane. You want to immediately rush before creeps spawn, rush here, get this ward off. This could be a strategy. Get this ward off, you get vision of this area. So the moment creeps spawn, and if their carry player is here, blocking the creeps when the creeps come, you will get full vision of this, and the towers won't see you, obviously, if you run through this path. Unless someone's spotting you here. But if you get here on time, and before the enemy team, and you actually get this ward off, then you can pretty much kill and get a bloodlust kill. And you could use this in mid game, late game, but this is maybe a strategy you can use for later on. Another ward spot I wanted to show you guys is for against a Legion lineup. Can you stop attacking me? Okay. The ward spot is here. I don't mess it up. There. So this gives vision of this entire area, and it's very useful for when you are on the Hellborn side and you're pushing up base racks and you want to get the racks. So let's say your team, Hellborn team, is located here, and the Legion team is located here. Usually decent initiators will be in the back, and a Magnus in this specific example, let's say it's late game, will be standing here with, let's say, these items. If you can spot or have vision of this Magnus, and let's say you clump up to bait the Magnus ulti, he ultis. The moment you see this, you start running back. You run back, he PKs in, he gets nothing off, right? So now they've lost a Magnus ultimate, and you reset, you go back, then you start pushing again when they don't have the Magnus ultimate off. So that could be a strategy. Also, you could just jump him and kill him. That could also be another way. But this ward also has a different use, and it's very good because it spots the enemy well as well. And this might not seem important to you, but in high TMM, this information is crucial because let's say you're versing a initiator and he just died, right? He goes back to well, he spawns in well. He gets Veiled Rot. Veiled Rot is it's used a lot in high TMM and in competitive games. So he uses his Veiled Rot and he TPs to the top lane. Well, you obviously don't see him TPing to the top lane, but you see the Veiled Rot TP. And that's important because from the game you can judge, hey, our short lane's in lane and Deadwood just Veiled Rot TP'd somewhere. So you will spot that, and the Silhouette can immediately run back and start farming woods, or you can set up a counterplay. Another way of using this is in the mid to late game, or even early game, but I doubt you will get this ward off in early game. So let's just say in mid to late game. You win a fight, enemy team starts spawning. Now, when they start spawning, they're gonna run to a lane or TP to a lane. But let's say they didn't TP to the lane. They start running, right? You see the Midas running this way. Where do you think he'll be running? He'll obviously be running to the bottom lane. So you can judge where the enemy team's movement is going to be. So if you see 3 people running bottom and 2 people running top, they're going to be split pushing, and maybe you can set up counter ganks. But if they're running mid with their support, you can tell that they will have some sort of vision around the mid area or around the top or bottom runes. So you can kind of judge how the enemy team's movement is. Another ward, which would be a substitute for this one, is placed here. I can't really... I find this ward much better than this one, and you'll see why. This ward only gives vision of the well. The last ward spot I wanted to show you guys in this video, this one, the uses for it aren't that big, but it's still useful. I didn't even get it the first time. It's not an easy ward to place. It's got a specific place, position, but if you look at the radius of this, it gives vision of all this area, right? It doesn't. The only downside to this ward is that it doesn't give vision of a tower. So if you are TPing to this tower, if you're TPing to this side of the tower, you won't see the Hellborn TPs if they TP to this side. But if they TP to this side in the ward's radius, then if you're paying attention to this side, you'll obviously see the TP. So let's take an example. If I TP this side, won't see it. But if I TP to the opposite side, obviously we'll see it. And the only downside is that you don't see the tower being disarmed. So if they TP to the right hand side, you won't see it. But other than that, the way I would use this ward would be if I am Legion and my team's here, and when I'm pushing this tower against the Hellborn team. And let's take an example where we have Wanna Behemoth. So we got a Behemoth on the Hellborn side, and let's say he's maxed out, so he's gonna be fucking scary. Let's go Resto Stone, Spell Shards, Spell Sunder, what the fuck? Oh. Okay. Spell Shards, Spell Sunder, Resto Stone, Demoots, Portal Key. Alright. Now, if you are Legion, and you're versing this Behemoth, you will definitely want to know where this guy is, because this guy is very scary to verse, because if he gets his ultimate combo off on your team, you're fucking dead. Like, there's nothing you lose the fight. There's nothing you can do. And if this fight decides the game, this ward can change it. This is the game turner. If you have this this type of vision, and if the Behemoth is here, or if the initiators are here, or if you guess the initiators might be here. You could jump him, you can spot him, you can move to this area without being uncontested. It's the only use for this. Other use would obviously be against Clanks players, but that's a specific hero. So if you're Legion and you're versing a Hellborn Clanks, maybe Clanks runs from this side to push out top, maybe skip the waves, you know, you get the idea. But that pretty much sums it up for this video. I hope you guys learned something new from this, and maybe a few of you didn't know some of these ward spots, and it will help out in TMM, definitely, because especially this ward, and this ward, hopefully, maybe we'll see it more often. Please do leave any suggestions in the comment section for future videos. I will read all the comments, and yes, like if you like the video. So that's all from me. Bye guys.